Welcome to this short video presentation on installing Patriot PS Personal Server ISO image on your own computer. My name is Pradeep Nambiar. I'm the product architect and developer for the Patriot PS Personal Server solution. The Patriot PS Personal Server solution is available in 3 editions. Patriot PS Personal Server System Edition. This is an all-in-one hardware and software solution where the Patriot PS Personal Server operating system and applications are pre-installed on a small fanless computing device that is designed to run 24/7 as your personal server. Then we have the Patriot PS Personal Server ISO image distribution, that is a software-only solution that you can install it on your own computer. This is useful if you have an old desktop that you may want to reuse as a personal server or decided to have your own custom hardware. We will talk about the minimum requirements for the computer system that is required for you to install the Patriot PS ISO image. We also have Patriot PS Personal Server as an open virtual appliance image that you can import into popular virtualization software that you can run within your existing Windows or Linux-based OS. This enables you to use your own current system and OS and run the personal server as a virtual machine. In this short video presentation, I will focus on how to go about installing the ISO image on your own hardware or your own old desktop if your desktop meets the minimum requirements needed to install the Patriot PS Personal Server solution. This page shows the minimum requirements to install the Patriot PS Personal Server ISO image. You would need an Intel or an AMD x64-bit compatible computer, at least 2 GB of main memory, and I would suggest about at least 100 GB of hard disk so that you can make your personal server useful, though you should be able to install it with a smaller hard disk too. One wired Ethernet card, a VGA monitor, and a keyboard that is required only during the install so that you can change the BIOS setting to enable you to boot either from the USB or the CD-ROM if required to. You don't need a VGA monitor and the keyboard after the install is completed. A bootable USB port if you're using a USB stick to boot, or a DVD-ROM drive if you want to boot from a DVD disk that contains the ISO image. Okay, so the first step in the install process is to download the ISO image. You should have got the link to the ISO image when you purchase the Patriot PS Personal Server ISO image product, or if you have requested an evaluation copy for the same. Once you download the ISO image, you can burn the ISO image into a DVD using the DVD writer. If you don't have a DVD writer, you can look into creating a bootable USB stick. A minimum of 2 GB is recommended. There is a tool called Rufus, and the link to that tool is available. It's a free tool. There may be other tools, but this is something that is known to work for me. Download the Rufus tool, insert a USB stick that is at least 2 GB, and point to the target device to the plugged-in USB stick. Click on the format options and ensure that you have checked add files for old BIOSes. This is important to ensure that the USB stick is recognized as a bootable disk. Next, click on the checkbox which says create a bootable disk using the ISO image, and use the browse button next to it to browse to the downloaded ISO image, and then click start to start the create process. Once completed, you can use that USB stick as a bootable USB stick to boot the Patriot PS ISO image installer. Before you start the boot, depending upon your computer and the BIOS, you may have to select the boot device. You can enter into the BIOS setup, select the DVD-ROM if you are going with the DVD-ROM device to boot, or use the USB media as a boot device. This selection will vary based on your computer and the kind of BIOS that you are using. So you may have to start the BIOS and explore how to ensure that the boot device is selected correctly. You should also ensure that the computer is connected to the home network with the internet connection on, as the installer will try to connect with the US Debian mirror site. That is the site that is used to download any security updates to your Patriot PS OS. The initial startup will also verify and get the keys for the Pexus update size, which is given here, Once your computer boots into the boot screen, you should see the Patriot PS boot installer screen. There are multiple options in this installer, but I highly recommend that you select the default, which is the auto install option. You do get about 60 seconds to decide whether you want to abort. After 60 seconds, it will start the auto installation, or you can click enter to start the install. And it has been designed for just a single click install, so you don't have to actually input any other data for this installation to proceed. The installer would install on the first hard disk after formatting it and use reasonable defaults. So it is absolutely important that you back up any device if you are trying to install this on an existing computer, or if you have an old PC lying around that you want to reuse as a personal server, to back it up before starting this installation process. Once the installation starts, you should see a screen like this. Now the installation process may take up to 2 to 3 hours depending upon the speed of your computer. Give it a couple of hours for the installation to complete. Once installation is complete, your computer will reboot and you should see a screen as shown, which indicates the build level of the OS, which is 142 in this case, and also the build date is also printed here on the screen here, and you will see a login prompt. At this point, you don't really have to interact with the console, and you should be able to discover this computer, the personal server, on your network using either the Windows Explorer, or you should be able to access the web interface to do the further configuration on your personal server. You can also see the IP address that was assigned to your personal server on boot. In this case, this is the dynamic IP address. You can directly point your browser to this IP address, or you can use the usual discovery mechanism that is shown in the next slide. On a Windows computer, you can easily discover the freshly booted Patriot PS personal server under your network section under other devices. And if you notice, this is the IP address that was assigned to it. If you double click, you can open the Patriot PS homepage as shown here, and from here you should be able to configure the Patriot PS personal server. First, of course, you will have to register it. The details on registering and configuring the Patriot PS personal server is described and shown in another video presentation. If you are using Apple computers, you can also use your browser and type either the IP address that is shown here, or you can also type in pps.local, which is the default host name that was assigned to it during the install. At this point, you're ready to configure your Patriot PS personal server. You can use the quick start video and other presentations and documentations from our website at http://www.pexus.com/patriotps/media, and the links for which are also provided here. You can also use the exact same process described in this video presentation if you ever have to reinstall the Patriot PS personal server if you had purchased a system edition. So the ISO image is included as part of that purchase. So in future, if you decide to reinstall your personal server, use the same mechanism to install the ISO image onto the actual Patriot PS personal server system. Before we conclude this video presentation, I want to take a minute to talk about what is Patriot PS ISO distribution. Patriot PS OS is actually a customized Debian OS distribution. Debian is a universal operating system that is based on the Linux kernel and the associated packages that are built by the Debian community. And Pexus actually includes unmodified binary packages from the Debian OS. So the current version is based off Debian 7.8. It's an AMD 64-bit with SMP, Debian 3.2.68 Linux kernel. Of course, this will change as we put out newer updates. And Pexus also includes Pexus applications, specifically the pps config package. that is installed and configured. That really makes your life easy in setting up this personal server solution, and additional packages would also be included in the future. So from a perspective of the OS, the updates to the OS can be pulled directly from the FTP US Debian.org mirror site. Also, this ensures that you get all the critical security updates when they're available on the official Debian site. Updates to Pexus application is pulled from the https repo.pexus.net, and there are other applications which you would download and install, such as the community edition of OwnCloud or PyDio or Webmin. They use their own respective repositories. The Patriot PS application also makes it easy by installing the pointers to these repositories and pulling the apt keys so that you can easily update it when additional packages are available for those applications. The Webmin, which is actually a very good application to manage your personal server in more detail, and you can launch the Webmin from the PPS configuration application. Under the More tab, there is a button to launch Webmin. You can navigate to System and Software Package Updates to figure out what packages are available since you have installed the Patriot PS OS. So you can select the packages that you think, and also you can schedule those updates very easily on Webmin. For example, you may want to look for the security updates that are out there, and being able to pull those updates and have those things installed automatically. Here is a screenshot of the Patriot PS configuration application. If you click on the More tab, you would see there is an option for advanced systems management, which is done via Webmin, which is pre-installed when you install the Patriot PS OS. If you click on the Launch Webmin, it will open up another window, and you would use the same password, that is the PPS admin, and the password that you have configured to enter into the Webmin dashboard. And from there, if you click on System and Software Packages, you can configure if you want to install the security updates automatically. This concludes our presentation on how to install the Patriot PS ISO image onto your own computer, or if you want to reinstall the ISO onto the Patriot PS personal server system. You can go to www.pexus.com patriotps/media for more documentation and other presentations related with Patriot PS personal server. You can also go to https store.pexus.net, where you can order a Patriot PS personal server solution.